Hello guys, welcome to the video. Today in this video we see the types of metal casting processes and see the sand casting and investment casting in details. So first, let us see the types of casting. As we can see in the figure, there are mainly two types of casting. One is expendable mold casting and another is non-expendable casting. Expendable mold casting can produce one metal casting only because metal solidifies in this mold must be destroyed to remove casting. It is further classified into two types, one is permanent pattern casting and another is temporary pattern casting. Sand casting and plaster mold casting are types of permanent pattern casting. Evaporate casting and investment casting are types of temporary pattern casting. Now, non-expendable mold casting is method in which we can produce many metal casting. In this mold has section that can open or close permitting removal of the casting. Die casting, centrifugal casting, and pressure casting are further types of non-expendable mold casting. So now, let us see the sand casting. Sand casting, also known as sand molded casting. It is a metal casting process characterized by using sand as the mold material. Sand casing is the most useful method used in casting industry. Around 70% of all metal casting are produced by sand casting. Figure shows the basic parts and terminology of sand casting. Let us see the sand casting process step by step. The first step in the sand casting process is to create the mold for the casting. In an expendable mold process, this step must be performed for each casting. A sand mold is formed by packing sand into each half of the mold. The upper portion is called cope and lower portion is called drag. As shown in figure 1 and 2, drag and cope are prepared. As figure 3 shows, pouring basin is provided for pouring and sprue pin is provided for path of a molten metal from pouring basin to casting. As the sand is packed around the pattern, which is a replica of the external shape of the casting. When the pattern is removed, the cavity that will form the casting remains. As shown in figure 5, vents are provided as a path of exhaust of gases. The molten metal is maintained at a set temperature in a furnace. After the mold has been clamped, the molten metal can be ladled from its holding container in the furnace and poured into the mold. The pouring can be performed manually or by an automated machine as shown in figure 6. Now, after solidification, casting part is ready to remove from mold. Now let's see the advantages and limitation of the sand casting. Advantages: process is suitable for both ferrous and non-ferrous metal casting. Handles a more diverse range of products than any other casting method. Produce both small precision castings and large castings of up to 1 ton. Mold preparation time is relatively short in comparison to many other processes. High levels of sand reuse are achievable. Limitation: low casting rate, rough surface finish, poor linear dimensional tolerance. Now, let's see the investment casting. Investment casting is an industrial process based on and also called lost wax casting. Investment casting is used for smaller castings made in large numbers where good surface finish and dimensional accuracy is needed. It is the best method of casting for good accuracy. Let's see the investment casting in detail step by step. In the investment casting, first step is to create wax pattern. A pattern that replicates the finished part geometry is made using a wax injection die as shown in figure 1. In injection die, the first step involves designing and building a metal die from aluminum. This die creates a wax replica of the desired part by injecting melted wax under high pressure into the cavity. The die can be made as a simple one-cavity manual tool or a complex multi-cavity automatic tool depending on volume requirements. Next, the wax patterns are assembled onto runners and into a finished tree which is ready to be dipped as shown in figure 3. After that, the assembly is then dipped into a high-grade ceramic slurry to build a ceramic shell around the wax tree as shown in figure 4. After the slurry coating is done, particles of sand are dropped onto the surface of the wet tree assembly. This helps to thicken and strengthen the layer of coating on the wax assembly surface. After achieves the desired shell thickness, the assembly is then allowed to set and dry. Now, the wax inside the newly built shell is now removed. Dewaxing is done using a steam dewaxing autoclave or flash fire furnace as shown in figure 7. Now the desired molten metal is poured into the preheated mold cavity. After cooling, the shell material is then removed through processes hammer knockout, vibration, and steel grid blasting. Now, the finished parts are then cut free from the gating and runner system as shown in figure 10. Now let's see the advantages and disadvantages of the investment casting. Advantages: parts of great complexity and intricacy can be cast. Close dimensional control and good surface finish. Wax can usually be recovered for reuse. Casting rate is high comparatively other methods. Disadvantages: many processing steps are required. Relatively expensive process. Thank you very much guys for watching this video.